A little cautionary point about identifying with the term Aspie. First of all, and most importantly, Hans Asperger, the paediatrician after whom Asperger syndrome was named, was a Nazi sympathiser who aided the child euthanasia programme. Invoking his name, applying it to oneself or to one's autistic child, and linking it to autistic experience is not respectable. It's actually quite damaging. On a medical diagnostic note, if that's your thing, Asperger syndrome was added to the DSM-4 in 1994 and was characterised as a pervasive developmental disorder. A few years earlier, in 1991, Ute Frith, developmental psychologist, translated Asperger's article, Autistic Childhood Psychopathy and Childhood, originally published in 1944, from German to English. As of 2013, following the publication of the DSM-5, within which individual pervasive developmental disorders now come under the umbrella term ASD, Asperger's syndrome has been removed and is no longer an official diagnosis. I have, however, come across several children in my professional life who have a DSM-5 diagnosis of ASD, but with an Asperger's profile. Finally, subtyping autism based on one's verbal and intellectual capacities lends itself to the use of functioning labels. The extent to which high-functioning autism, an equally unhelpful, poorly defined and problematic term, and Asperger's syndrome differ is up for debate. When it comes to speech development, individuals who are diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome acquired language skills generally without significant delay, unlike those with high-functioning autism whose intellectual abilities were average to above average, like that of Asperger's syndrome, but whose acquisition of language may have been delayed. The struggles of individuals in possession of an Asperger syndrome or high-functioning autism diagnosis, or individuals who identify as an Aspie, may either not be taken as seriously as those who are deemed low-functioning, or are completely downplayed and overlooked on the basis more is expected from them. Their autism wasn't considered as severe as those who are at the low-functioning end of the spectrum. Sincerest apologies for the hideous language I'm using. So to recap, functioning labels are misleading and divisive. If people use them, more sympathy and compassion are afforded to those at the low-functioning end of the spectrum, and more is expected from those at the high-functioning end of the spectrum. The term Aspie, on the other hand, is not only obsolete in medical and diagnostic terms, but the use of which is also a salute to an individual who was complicit in a Nazi regime.